are you, by the way?
Hey, everyone. It's Dr. Tamara Beckford with Your Caring Docs and Our Dogs Who Cares show. Woo! Alrighty. So, today I'm going to bring one of my sisters from the Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Oh, yes, that's my Puerto Rico sister. Alrighty.
Rico in the house.
Hello. Yes, alrighty. So, as you guys know, I love hyping up all my wonderful docs because they are so fantastic. And I have to bring in our wonderful doc in our Your Karen Docs fashion because she's going to drop a lot of gems with us today, especially all of you who want to go into entrepreneurship. And today's a special day for all our new docs at around what you guys have just opened up your envelopes. You're finding out where you're going. Today is match day. So we're welcoming all our new docs to the wonderful specialty of medicine. You've worked hard. We're very proud of you. And this is something that you need to know too, because a lot of us didn't think about it when we were at your stage, right? So let me bring this doc in because we're about to drop some gems for you guys. So my wonderful doc, she's a graduate from the University of Puerto Rico, right? And then she did her residency in anesthesiology in Oregon Health and Sciences University. Then she went ahead and she did a pain medicine fellowship because my sister doc ain't no joke, right? She is an integrative pain doctor in Sarasota, Florida. She has over 25 years of experience as a doctor and in entrepreneurship. She's taken all of that passion for giving physicians tools needed to succeed, to avoid burnout, and to practice long, happy medical lives. She says, you know what? I'm going to pull all of this together and then I'm going to help out all my docs because she built this wonderful exclusive physician entrepreneurship group that's called the maxAllure Mastermind. She's also the host of Design Your Physician Life podcast. I'm talking about the one, the only Dr. Myrdalis Díaz-Ramírez. Yes.
Well, I'm super excited to be here with the Oprah of medicine. I've heard it's the word on the street and on the social media, Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Oh, thank you for stopping by. I am just so excited to have you on today. Like I said, you're going to drop gems. Today's a wonderful day to do all of this because we have our new docs. You know, they just opened up their envelopes. They're fine. Well, I don't even know. They probably do it by email now. But, you know, back it used to be that envelope. We all have that.
The virtual envelope.
Yes, exactly. That passion. So, you know, thinking about these new docs, let's bring it back to you, Dr. Myrdalis. Like, what made you decide to go into medicine in the first place?
I'm going to give you like that cheesy answer of wanting to care for people. It's a little bit longer than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always loved science. I always had great grades and I wanted to do something that would make change for people. And I did consider some other things. At some point, I really wanted to be an astronaut or a pilot and all those things, crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to science and I really loved genetics. So I really wanted to be a geneticist.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was thinking I really didn't like the fact that many of them, they have to apply from grants and that financial way of surviving in research. I didn't like that to be like the base. Some work that we're doing recently talks about the 6 human needs, and one of them is certainty. And apparently I'm very focused on certainty, and that's something that I've been changing for myself recently. And so eventually I decided to be a physician because I thought that I would be able to help patients. And one thing that, as in the time that I graduated medicine, different than what's happening right now, but what I think we can change is that most physicians they would own their practices, right? So I saw that since I was little as a way of having my own place. However, I ended up doing anesthesia, right? Which you can be the owner of your anesthesia practice, but you're not really on your schedule all the time necessarily. You're in the OR, you have the doctors who come, and it's different thing. And eventually I found pain management by accident. I had pain myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I had like I was doing my residency, and
Mm-hmm.
which is different. I didn't go through the match. I have to
Right.
confess. I'll tell you that thing later. But
No worries.
um, I had um, I had a problem with my hand. I'm right-handed, and then
Mm-hmm.
they found me while I was doing anesthesia in the pain clinic. And most residents really didn't enjoy that rotation, but I was fortunate that I got to spend more time and saw the patients coming. And I would
Ah,
say, I can make these life changes not only for the patient and their families. I can be a surgeon, which I really wanted to do. I had considered neurosurgery as one of my options, and I'm doing, spinal procedures now. I do intrathecal pumps, spinal cord stimulators, all that exciting stuff.
yes.
I can see that during the day, like I personally wanted like to go outside, I wanted to have my own hours and
Right.
all those things combined. Then I could also build a family, which was important to me,
Mm-hmm.
being able to accomplish all those things through interventional pain management, which I really love doing.
Wow, wow, wonderful. It's interesting because I interviewed another wonderful doc here who had a similar story of doing and it's an integrative pain management doctor too. Shout out to the wonderful Dr. Edie Allen. And yeah, similar. He said, I wanted to be able to get back to talking with the patients and being able to see that change that was not afforded to them when you're doing just the anesthesiology. So I think that it's just so wonderful. Both of you guys are here helping so many people who are suffering in pain, and you're helping to relieve, because I'm pretty sure that you're seeing such great impact. So now, like you said, you did medicine, you went in and you decided to do anesthesiology, but then you got the glimpse of this pain management, integrated pain management. And you're like, wow, this is a life that I can see because you've benefited from it yourself, right? And now you're there helping. So tell me, what is it like seeing the impact that you're having on these wonderful patients' lives as an integrative pain management specialist?
So I'm gonna tell you my moment. I don't know if you know Norman Rockwell, those paintings,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a scene and many of them are medical scenes. So I remember this cheesy moment when I was in my rotation as a resident, and
Mm-hmm.
then my mentor, and he's now my friend, Dr. Brett Stacy. I saw him. There was the patient. Is a young girl,
Mm-hmm.
in her 20s, with this complex regional pain syndrome, and he's looking at this foot, and then the parents are like over her looking, looking at him like, what are you going to do about this?
Yes.
And to me that was like the moment that I decided to be a pain doctor. I said, this is what I want,
Oh.
because I saw like the anguish of the family, and I knew what the results were going to be. And later, she was doing so much better. So just seeing that was the moment that defined my
Mm-hmm.
career, that aha moment. And now seeing that patient after patient after patient, it's like it's just incredible. People who have been in pain for such a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that we try to do obviously is look for a cause, right? We want to get rid of
Absolutely.
whatever is bothering them. But even that, like, they come to me and they might have seen five other physicians and all these
Mm-hmm.
physical therapists, and then you have to be creative. You
Mm-hmm.
have to really look like all these guys have seen them. So just at that time when all these guys have missed it, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, you know what it is, you know
Mm-hmm.
exactly, you've seen this before, and you can heal them. And it's not only for them, it's for the whole family.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. So we see that from patients with anything, any type of pain that
Mm-hmm.
they have. We see the changes, and that's the thing. It's not only for the patient; it goes beyond. It goes for the work, for their family and friends when they are able to be more. The 80-year-old who wants to be more sexually active, and they're more sexually active from the one.
Hey, hey, grandma. Hey,
The one
hey, grandpa. Hello.
I gotta know. I've seen it.
Hey, right?
Awesome. It's awesome, that
Yes.
quality of life. So that's how it works for me.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love the fact, like you said, it's not just the patient themselves. You see that they have lit they have this new vigor within them, and then it's spreading and it's rippled effect towards like their family, that everyone's able to really enjoy that person again, that person who probably, because even I love the fact that you said, there are a lot of different aspects that would cause the pain, and you're checking for the root causes, so it's not just immediate, boom. You sit and you really try to figure out. And
Like a
once someone is
detective.
in pain for so long, exactly, it's a great investigative reporting type thing. You're in pain for so long, it affects so many aspects of your life, emotionally and physically. And to be able to turn all that around is just so powerful, and you see that smile on the face. I'm pretty sure sometimes people are coming back and you're like, wow, you look so different than you did the first time I saw you, because they're
Can I
just
tell you a story about that?
absolutely.
So I had when she came to me, she was like in her 20s, and she came on a wheelchair, and she had been on a wheelchair for a few years.
Wow.
And I'm like, my goodness, like we cannot really find anything physiologically exactly correct. Somebody who's on opiates already for a long time. And it's like,
Mhm.
and I'm thinking, like that lifestyle medicine aspect where you're like diet, exercise, sleep, the stress, and just taking care, because all those things can really affect how you feel.
Absolutely.
So I stopped seeing her. I
Mhm.
never saw her again for 5 years or something like that. And one day I'm in my office, and this beautiful woman, just like very strong. I open the door. It's like, I recognize this name. I know this name. Who is this? And then I go up and I say, oh my goodness. And she said, you know what? You saved me. I did what you told me to do.
Mhm.
And I'm here because I want a prescription for physical therapy because I'm competing on a weightlifting
Wow.
something like that. She was like wheelchair bound.
Wow.
And many of these transformations, like they just need like the right person to
Mhm.
say it. Maybe somebody else told them that. So we insist on the message, and when they're ready, they're ready. But this was like, to me, like has been one of my most wonderful stories, just seeing
Oh.
years later. And you see, you see the hair, the
Mhm.
face, the skin, everything changes, and
Yes.
the smile that comes in, and the
It's a
independence
glow.
that they gain, yeah.
Absolutely. A wonderful glow of a person. It's exuding all this happiness and confidence. Like this person is now in a bodybuilding contest, someone who was in a wheelchair. Like that is just fantastic. And it's just being able to just get the time to sit and talk about the different aspects and different ways that we can heal our bodies, right? Not just traditional ways or Western, but even thinking, like you said, diet, exercise, mindfulness. It's just all over. It's an overall transformation that this person had starting within them, and it just required just someone to really just get that message through to them. Wonderful, wonderful. Alrighty, so now we're there and we're practicing, and then you realize you have this wonderful skill. You have this skill set of being able to help, um not just even physicians. You're like, I noticed that I can start helping from like the med students and the physicians, and helping them to think in a very systematic way of building things. Like you have this art of building, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to help them out by putting together this wonderful mastermind. So tell me, how did this come about? How did the wonderful maxAllure Masterminds come about?
So our mastermind is an exclusive physician entrepreneur mastermind where the physicians come for 6 months, and we change them if they feel overwhelmed or lost, or burnout, or if actually they have a business and they just want to acquire momentum for the business. We
Mm-hmm.
help them for 6 months. So we have a curriculum of things that we've learned through the masterminds that we ran, that we teach them basic questions that many people will have, from mindset, wellness, finance, and
Mm-hmm.
building a business, and even personal. And then we get them to what we call the hot seats, where we bring like somebody tell me, you know what, I want to start a live podcast. I say, oops, I know somebody who does. And then I
Right.
go, Dr. Tamara Beckford, would you like to teach and coach our wonderful member of our mastermind? Or maybe
Mm-hmm.
they tell me, I really want Dr. Beckford to to coach me. Can you please get her? And then I talk to you and I say, oh yes, and then you come and coach them in front of the group. So we all learn from our coaching that we get, not only from me, but from
Mm-hmm.
all these wonderful physicians who have agreed to come. So that's the mastermind. And how it happened is that I truly have a concern about the state of medicine, right? In terms of physicians. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really well known that 300 to 400 physicians commit suicide every year. That's 3 to 4 medical classes that are committing suicide. And
Mm-hmm.
many of them are because of burnout, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or there's other crises that can happen, but that's really a true concern that I have. And I want to have good physicians taking good care of me and my family, and I want my
Absolutely.
colleagues to have a healthier life. So when we go through medicine, medicine is a very intense uh, period of time, right? Studying
Mm-hmm.
medicine, you guys who have not only have to apply it with all the sacrifices that we have to go through to apply to medicine these days, also to
Mm-hmm.
the sacrifices to apply for residency, and then all the work that we do for that. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have time to learn all the things that we know as physicians who have been practicing for a long time and who have seen the transition in medicine that we should really know.
Mm-hmm.
So that sparked the dream of teaching other physicians. And one of the things in my personal life is that I've been with my husband since we were 17, so we're high school sweethearts, and he has gone with me through the whole career.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been part of our businesses. It's been a family thing. And when I discovered the magic of the mastermind, I looked
Mm-hmm.
for one that would be just for doctors and that I could bring him in. And I didn't
Absolutely.
see one. So I just said,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm just going to learn how this is done.
Just make one. Why not? I'm
Like,
gonna do it.
hey, I have a mastermind. Do you want to come? I was like, yeah, let's go. And then for 6 months, we met like every week. And I saw the transformations. Not only, like we had people who have, let's say, a portfolio to manage of properties of $150 million that this particular doctor retired from medicine when she was in her 30s,
Mm-hmm.
all the way to people who had no idea of what to do, like they were wasting so much time. And then just seeing those transformations the same way that we've seen in medicine,
Mm-hmm.
seeing that for our physicians, we're going to take care of so many, and have been so wonderful where we can now practice for joy and not for need. So that's how the whole thing came.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love the fact there are a couple of things about this that I love. One, it's that it's still implementing that each one teach one type of philosophy, that we in medicine have, in that we've learned things and it's taken us a long time, right? You've invested, and that's the most precious of all of our different aspects. Time is like one of our most precious assets there, and we've invested so much time into learning this. And then we have other colleagues who we see who are struggling, but they don't have that luxury of 10 years to get to that point. And with this wonderful group that you've built, this mastermind, you are using the skill set that you've learned over those years, and you're shortening that period for these physicians and saving lives at the same time, because you see the despair, you see the anguish. Like, there's more. I want to practice, I want to do, entrepreneurship, but I don't have the time to go back to school for 2-3 more years. I don't have that. But if I'm with a group of people who are like-minded and they have the benefit of helping, and they're kind-hearted, and they're providing information, which is the most important aspect of this. You just see, and you're seeing transformation, which is just so powerful within your life. I mean, this is beautiful. And I've seen some of your coaches. I love it. You have some of the wonderful, like my sister, Dr. Diana Mercado, the ADHD life coach.
She
Yes.
was actually our member. I have to tell you her story because it's so good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Dr. Diana Mercado has ADHD. She'll tell you that that's part of her
Mhm.
story. And she wanted to help other people with ADHD. So we met at Peter Kim's Leverage and Growth Summit. That's where our mastermind was created.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one of the ones that said yes. So one thing with our mastermind is like I created it, as I told you, so that my husband could come. So I said, who has a couple who wants to come? It doesn't have to be a physician, just like, we'll
Mm-hmm.
be 10 couples, and that's what we have. We have the small groups. And then she went ahead and she signed up for this. And then she went to her husband. Her husband said, I don't want any part of that.
And
I
I
don't
met her
want
husband. I met
any
them.
of that. You should have asked me, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, can you please take me? My husband's coming. I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. The husband is like is a plus,
Mm-hmm.
but we're here to help each other. So she came with an idea. And within,
Yes.
I don't know if I think it's 3 months or something like that, she was already doing webinars. And then she would come and she would say,
Oh, yes.
oh,
Dr.
I
Mercado
forgot
is a
how to do the
firehouse. Love.
charge. And it's like, don't worry, and she would use us for practice. And then now you see her,
Yes.
teaching others. And now she's a mentor. She's a coach for our mastermind too.
Yes. Yes. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. And she's a firehouse and she's a doer. And I love her. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, I'm watching you because you have such a drive. And it's like her drive pulls me and my drive. I love her so much. We were on the phone earlier this week because she's just such a wonderful person. Our lovely Dr. Diana Mercado, our ADHD coach, out there helping you close those charts. She's like, come on, let's get this done. She's a firecracker. And I also see that you have one of my also wonderful colleague too, the wonderful Dr. Richard Harris, the double doc, the Strive for Great Health, Greater Health podcast, and there's just some wonderful coaches that you have.
That's another story. He was a member too.
Yes.
And so for Diana, we actually got Dr. Neka Una to come and coach her she was like, I want Dr. Una to coach
Yeah,
me.
Dr.
Don't
Una is
worry,
here,
we'll,
by
we'll
the way,
try.
saying hello to
I
us.
say, hi, here you are. Yay. So she came to our podcast. To our podcast,
Mhm.
no, well, that's a different story. She did
Yeah.
come to our podcast, and but she helped Diana with us.
Mhm.
And then Richard, he was our member too. And then Richard, he wanted to be coach. I don't remember right now, but he just has so many different businesses. He has businesses in Africa.
Mhm.
He's doing the app where he has for testosterone management and everything. And now he's going to be at the Southwest music conference, taking
Mhm.
that there and launching it there. He's just like,
Oh yeah, he's a powerhouse. Dr.
yes. And
Harris
he's
is
a pharmacist too before becoming
yes.
a doctor. It's like, oh my goodness. And he has a podcast and he has a voice. And then it's funny because we would ask him,
Mhm.
well, maybe you can do this thing for us. Actually, I did an ad sometime and I was a model and I was this, like, whatever you want to find, he has
The
done.
Renaissance man.
Okay. Richard has done everything.
Love it, love it, love it. Yes, he's a wonderful, wonderful doc out here too, Dr. Richard Harris. We still haven't gotten to meet in person, but yeah, Dr. Harris, we're going to make that happen. Definitely, definitely, definitely some powerhouses. And, these are some of the powerhouses that have come through this wonderful, wonderful mastermind that you have there helping. And I love the fact too that you're like, yeah, your spouse can come along because it's an important aspect of us, right? So my spouse is super supportive. For all those who are in our EntreMD, they met him last year, October. We had a retreat, super supportive, helping me along with this business. And, it's great to have that support. So to have a mastermind when you're like, no, bring your husband along so he can see, or bring your spouse so that they can see what you're doing, and how this is impact. I'm pretty sure at the end your spouse is probably even more supportive and pushing the, the physician.
Yeah, right now we have
Yeah.
Dr. Sadaf Lodi in our mastermind right now.
Mhm.
And if you look at her, she's the Muslim Sex Podcast.
Oh
Okay.
yes, I see this
She has
doctor on
gone
Instagram.
viral. She has gone viral. She has, I don't know, she started in November. We said, I don't know how many followers. She wanted to reach like 10,000. She's like, I don't know, I think almost 20,000 followers right now. Okay.
Oh
That
yes.
happened like overnight. She went. But talking about her spouse, her husband, I said, you know what? like she always comes along to the meeting. I say, why for this particular coaching don't you bring your husband, because I think it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be important. She had taught me some things, and just bring him in. And then he was trying, he told us in the mastermind, he really didn't know how that could be monetized, how that could
Mm-hmm.
be something that was going to be good for their family, like sustainable, and all these things, when she's putting
Absolutely.
the effort into coaching and having her channel, her and her podcast. And after the mastermind, he was just so much more calm. We coach her with some expert
Mm-hmm.
on social media, who knew how to do this, had done this before, a previous physician. And
Mm-hmm.
she was just, so happy, and he was happy. He
Oh.
was like, oh, now I get it. And this is a person who has an MBA, right? So it's not uneducated people. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
we don't know about this particular. I didn't know
The angles.
many of
Yes,
these things not too long ago, but we all learned together. And that's
absolutely.
that's the peace of mind that we're also bringing to the family, having it this way.
Absolutely. I love, 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 love this. So much greatness, family love, family support, um, communal support, collegial support. Like it's all in one right here in this wonderful, wonderful mastermind. Alrighty. So now, we're going to take it back to you, Dr. Myrdalis. You can't just go and just talk about all these masterminds. So let's just find out, what are you doing for self-care?
Well, it's different things, right? You have to take care of mind and body and all these
Absolutely.
things. So
Yeah.
right now, today, we're taking care of our mind with
Mhm.
we're actually taking the Tony Robbins
Oh,
course this
yes.
week, which is
Mhm.
4 12-hour days intense
Oh, yeah,
course.
Tony is
I
intense.
have a post here to be here with you,
Mhm.
but that's what's waiting for me, like all the dancing and jumping there. This morning we started with a run, so I went on my bike. I did 11 miles on the bike
Oh my
today.
gosh.
Yeah.
What?
And then so that happened today.
Mhm.
And in terms of my diet, I've changed my diet. I would love to say that I'm completely plant-based, and I did that because they scare me. Hey, do you want this medicine for your cholesterol? It's like, no, I don't want that. Like, no.
I
So
understand.
now it's like, oh, that stinks. I don't want one. Like, I'm gonna try the way of going lifestyle medicine on myself, and I changed
Mhm.
my diet, and it completely changed. So that type of thing you do, and then relationships with people who are like-minded,
Right.
who are bringing you up.
Mhm.
That's extremely important. So we've been working on all those aspects. It's not perfect, doesn't happen every day that I'm going to be riding 11 miles on the bicycle, because it takes some
Yes.
time from other things that we want to accomplish. But you try to have, achieve balance. For me,
Mhm.
having that variety is exciting and important too.
I love it, love it, love it. I love the way that you answered this question. You're actually the first doc that answered it that way, which shows the strategic mindset that you have. I'm just saying. You're like, okay, so for mind, I'm doing this still. And for body, this is what I've done. And for nutrition, this is what I'm doing. I love, love, love that. So now that we figured out, how you are strategically ensuring that you purposefully do self-care, and you're doing it in mind, body, spirit, and social, and I love that. Being around people who uplift you is such an important and powerful part of our self-care process. But we got another question for you. All right, yes.
We danced.
So, all right, I'm dancing because I'm asking, if you weren't a doctor, what would you be?
I would sell shoes. I would be a
Oh,
shoe designer.
a shoe designer. Love it. You're a shoe fashionista. You love
I
it?
am, and I have to confess that I just met one of the most wonderful people online, that I was my idol, and I know her,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Taryn Rose.
Yes, Dr. Turner's. I was gonna say I have one of hers.
So I have shoes, yeah. And then what happened was, like, at the same time that I was actually, I went even to Italy, and then I went to, like, visit a shoe designing school when I was early in my career.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to create shoes. I like them. What can I tell you, right? It's
Right.
my genetics came with that. So and I fit them. The environment fits the genetics.
Yes.
So um so I was trying to create these things, but life happened and I just went
Mhm.
another way. And then recently I was in a on a Facebook group and she was there and I was starstruck. I have to confess, if she ever sees this, and I told her, she knows. And then I sent her. It happened that I found some of the things, the early things that I had written
Yeah.
about the shoe designers that were my inspiration, and I had her name along all these other people because that's what I was looking. I was doing the research for that, and then I
Right.
showed it to her. I sent it to her, and she couldn't, believe that I put her name amongst those because it really
Oh,
was my inspiration. And then
yes.
I'm hoping now that we can do some events together. But that's what I would do, shoes.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. Wow. So your passion, and then you've met another person who is also a physician. It's like, mind you, for we're talking about Dr. Taryn Rose. Is Dr. Taryn Rose, orthopedic, right? Am I orthopedic surgeon who's
Yes.
also a shoe design and designs these beautiful cuts. She has made to order shoes and custom made ones that are built for you for comfort, style, like beautiful, beautiful designs. And then you said that the hope is to put together an event with the designer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
mind blown.
I
Yes.
already told her about it and she said yes.
Oh, there we go. Alrighty, so
I have to do it.
now you have to do it. You know how it is. Accountability, plus you have all these
I
people who are
know.
listening to the podcast. You have those who are watching and they're
Before
like,
the end of the year, I'll have that. Promise.
absolutely. But don't forget to let us know about this wonderful, wonderful event that's going to be coming together. This is by the end of this year. So we have 9 more months. Boom.
Like
Looking
you
forward.
can have a baby, you can have a party selling shoes, right? In 9 months.
Right. Exactly. I love that. In 9 months, someone can have a baby, the other is having a party. Why not? Here we go. So now I know that there are many people who are listening. They're like, okay, so this is fantastic. So not only do you have this wonderful doc who is an excellent integrative pain management specialist, she has this wonderful mastermind group that's there for exclusive physician maxAllure mastermind group to help you to move along in your entrepreneurship journey, to help you think things through, to get like-minded people, to help you break past that area in your life where you're just feeling stuck. You move from stuck to unstuck to just momentum. You're like, you know what? And there's a shoe party going on at the end of the year. I want to get in contact with that doc. So let us
Before
know,
the
where
end
can
of
they
the
find
year.
you? So let us know, where can they find you, Dr. Ramirez?
So we have our website for our mastermind. It's called maxAllure. Mastermind, so it's maxallure.com. That's maxallure.com. Our next mastermind comes out on May 18th. We're going to have some webinars on April where you can go to our website, sign up for the webinars, and then we'll send you all the information. We only take 10 people per cohort.
Mhm.
Um, because we want to make sure that we do have that one-on-one coaching. We're very specific to your goals. At the end of those 90 days, you end up with a blueprint of what you would be doing for the next stage in your life.
Mhm.
And so we are like very good with accountability. And so that's coming up. So don't miss those dates because we don't know when the next one is going to be after
Mhm.
this one. We might get 2 cohorts depending on how many people we have, but it's 10 people per cohort. So that's for that. I do have my personal brand where my podcast is living right now. It's going to
Yeah.
come in iTunes and everything like this week, but for now that's drmyrdalisdiaz.com. And if
Mhm.
you look at my name, it's the only one I have to say, but that's something that I like.
Yeah.
And also, you can look me up on LinkedIn
Mhm.
or look me up on Dr. Myrdalis Díaz-Ramírez is my Facebook professional page.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you can find our wonderful doc. So she has a cohort that's coming up. So for those of you guys who are thinking and you're like, I think I want to jump on this, May 18th, doors close May 18th and they start. So you can go to maxallure.com, maxallure.com, and you can find out about the cohort. If you want to get in contact with our wonderful sister doc, so we said Dr. Myrdalis Díaz.com, the only. So we can say the one, the only, Dr. Myrdalis Díaz.com. Yes, you can find her there. You can get in contact with her through LinkedIn and also on Facebook. So I know you're listening to this and you're like, whoa, this episode was fire. And I'm like, yes, exactly. It definitely was. So we want you to make sure you leave those 5-star review for Dr. Myrdalis, or Myrdalis. Sorry, I'm like totally screwed.
You're the first one to ever say that. You know that?
Myrdalis. How did everybody else not get? Alrighty, we got this. We got this, Doc. So make sure you leave that 5-star review for her right there on our Your Caring Docs. If you have an Apple device, that's URCARINGDOCS. That's our Docs Who Care podcast, and you can find her. So the page is already ready for you if you did not go on to our wonderful YourCaringDocs.com, our podcast page. Yes, so just go to URCARINGDOCS.com. Look at her beautiful picture. Click the listen here link, and you will be able to find this wonderful episode right there. Don't forget, like I said, if you have an Apple device, leave that 5-star review. We thank you so much for coming on. I hope you had a wonderful time. Dr. Díaz-Ramírez, my boy.
I loved it here. Thank you very much, Dr. Tamara Beckford, for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you all for watching, for listening. I hope you had as great a time as I did, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.